What's up, y'all? Tim Bratz here. Welcome to the Legacy Podcast. Today I'm sitting down with Solomon Sparks, who is a wholesaler, flipper, and multifamily buy and hold investor out of the Columbus, Ohio market. And Solomon's up here in Cleveland right now. He just bought 32 units in Lakewood, Ohio, which is a cool, trendy suburb of Cleveland. It's actually where my office is located. And we're gonna learn all about how he's transitioned from the transactional business of flipping and wholesaling real estate to buying and holding and building long-term legacy wealth for himself and his family. So I'm excited to sit down with him, hear about how that transition has gone for him, and hear about where he's going. So let's go meet up with Solomon. Solomon Sparks, how we doing, buddy?
Good, brother. How are you?
Welcome to the Legacy Podcast. So we are here in Cleveland. We got the Legacy Family Meetup that's happening tomorrow. And it's good to have you up, first of all. And secondly, dude, you're doing some good stuff, right? You've transitioned from flipping houses, wholesaling houses, into buying and holding multifamily complexes for your own portfolio.
Right.
And dude, I think it's like a simple yet profound shift that happens when you do something like that. Because, dude, you go from wholesaling and building other people's wealth to now it's one less thing that you got to deal with, right? Is the disposition side of things.
Yeah.
And then secondly, you're building your own wealth, right? It's a pivot of let me build somebody else's wealth, so then let me start building my own wealth. And like we just walked through, I don't know if this video is going to come out before or after the walkthrough video of your 32 units here in Lakewood, Ohio. But dude, that one deal increased your net worth by about $1 million, right? From a single deal. Now you're taking down another 50 plus units, I think in West Virginia, and you got a couple other things that you're looking to do. And dude, I think it's a powerful and profound story of how you've gone from transactional real estate into buying and holding and building long-term wealth for you, for the future fam, and what that looks like. So dude, I want to start at the beginning. Tell me about how you became an entrepreneur and how you got into real estate in the first place.
Cool. Yeah. So I grew up, classic story, single mom. She was supporting 3 kids, and I never went without. We had a lot of love in the house and clothes on my back, food on the table, but no extras. I was a big sneaker guy, like Air Jordans and stuff like that growing up, and I learned how to barter at a young age because I was trading shoes, buying shoes, doing whatever. Yeah. And then couple years go by, I graduate high school, I go to community college, just because in the area that I grew up in, they look at you sideways if you said you weren't going to college. So might as well go ahead and do that. I was working at UPS, they were paying for the school, so why not do it? I was working at UPS and had a light bulb go off, like, what do I really want to do with my life? Then that turned into what's the highest ticket item that I can flip, and it ended up being a house, right? But I knew nothing about.
What was it about working at UPS or FedEx, like what was it? UPS. Yeah. That you're like, this is not something I want to do long term. Were you driving delivery trucks, or were you in the UPS office?
I was in the trenches, man. I was in the back of the big old 18-wheelers unloading packages from those, and then I became a supervisor after that. But really where it came down to is like I had the head honcho breathing down my neck every single day. And yeah, did I mess up 1 or 2 times? Sure. But like they just never, ever let it go in a sense. So I started thinking to myself, what can I start to do to get myself out of the corporate world?
Was it more because you wanted something more or because you didn't want that?
I wanted something more. Yeah. Watching a struggle my whole life growing up.
How come, like, did you ever meet anybody that was working there that was just like a career employee there, or career worker there? Yeah. And like, dude, to me, I think like, how come everybody doesn't have like these thoughts? How come everybody doesn't like spur these ideas and look for like side things to do in order to generate more wealth, generate more income, in order to have a better lifestyle and, support their loved ones?
Yeah. Yeah. At UPS, they obviously go by a seniority system. So it was a flex for these guys to say, I've been here for 30, 35, 40 years. And at the end of the day, dude, they're just rotting away in a warehouse for their entire life, not doing anything extra with their life. And, more power to the people that want to do that. But, I watched a struggle all my life growing up. So I wanted more at the end of the day.
Cool. So the first thing that you find out, or the first thing that you look at is maybe I can flip something.
Yeah.
And you're looking at different, flipping a car, flipping a couch, flipping a whatever, and somebody's like, you flip a house.
Yeah.
So what was that like, and how did you learn how to do that?
So I went to one of those, you hear on the radio all the time, the Than Merrill real estate investing, da-da-da-da-da. You go to one of those things, sorry, I don't mean to name drop Than or anything, but like you go to one of those things, you get in the room, you sit there for 2 days, they give you a little bit of value. At the end of day 2, they're like, hey, sign up for our course, $30, $40, $50,000. And I just so happened to get lucky at that thing. And one of the dudes, I told him my story, and he was like, hey man, don't buy this course, read this book. So I read this book, Rehab Investing Bible by the same guy. Read that book the first month of 2018. By November 15th, I bought my first flip.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you buy your first flip, you go through the process. You don't know what you don't know, right? Like you're just like ignorance on fire, but you got a good attitude about it, and so you can push through any of the struggles and the tough parts.
Yeah.
What did you learn in that first flip?
Don't do all the work yourself. Me and my buddy was swinging a hammer in that thing the whole time. Granted, it was good for the character building and knowing what's going on, but you have higher dollar an hour value tasks that you can do than sitting in a house and swinging a hammer.
Yeah, man. I mean, you bought yourself a job is what you did,
Exactly.
right? As opposed to thinking like this, it's not scalable if you are needed in order to pursue that business and move that business forward. So how can you remove yourself from it a little bit every single time? And yeah, dude, I think you learn the technical things and there's certain value to going and doing that maybe once or twice on your own. So now you know how to lay flooring. Now you know how to what to look for in the paint. Well, you know what to look for in changing out light fixtures and all that kind of stuff. And so later on, you can then empathize with the contractor or the sub that's doing that work, and you can also have a more keen eye when walking a property too. So I think there's value in maybe doing it once or twice, but being stuck in that, man. I've met people who've been flipping the same house for 3 years. It's like, what are we doing here, man?
Yeah, you got to delegate and elevate, man.
Yeah. Love that. Delegate and elevate. So you learn how to delegate and elevate, right? Yeah. You get outside of that. You're still flipping some houses. You're wholesaling. You get into wholesaling a little bit.
So I was flipping a bunch of houses in Columbus. I got up to like 30 flips that I completed, but on number 22 through 30, the city got on my ass, man. I wasn't pulling any permits. They put stop work orders on everything. Had to go through that whole rigmarole. But what came out of that was I found out that I was very, very good at off-market deal sourcing because I'd only bought one deal from anybody outside of my own marketing. All 30 of those deals I marketed direct to seller, whether it be cold call or direct mail, which was popular at that time.
Yep.
So I realized I was really good at that. Hired an acquisitions guy, hired a project manager to help me out with getting city stuff taken care of. And then I realized this was like 2021, springtime. Market was red hot, on fire. And I realized like, hey man, I can make almost as much money just assigning a contract rather than just flipping a house.
Yep.
So I doubled down on that. And for the rest of that year, man, we did probably about 40 or 50 wholesale deals from March until December, and then just really took off with it the following couple of years.
Love it, man. So pursued that for the next couple of years. And then what was the trigger of like I'm seeing this pattern of I want more, or I know I can do something bigger. I know I can push the limits a little bit further.
Yeah.
And that ended up being wanting to get into multifamily.
Yeah, exactly. So I had a mentor in the wholesaling space, Carlos Reyes, who you had out at the Scottsdale meeting.
Yeah, and then I spoke at his stage like a month or two later.
That's cool. But I learned the game through him on the wholesaling side and his partner Sal Shakir, and then did so many wholesale deals, man. Did acquisitions on all of those, dispoed all of them, and then it came down to a time where I'm like, hey, this wholesaling stuff doesn't really move the needle for me anymore. Like, not to sound like my nose is in the air, but like making $100,000 in a month off of assigning contracts, it doesn't make a big difference in my net worth anymore. But what does is acquiring a large multifamily for extreme discounted price. Yeah,
and that I think is hard for people because, dude, that's a lot of money and that's a lot of lifestyle that you could have. Making $1 million a year off of a transactional business. The issue is it's transactional, and the issue is there's no enterprise value to it.
Yeah.
I've seen entrepreneurs that just focus on the transactional income, and dude, they're always cash heavy, but they never have anything sellable in the future. They're always chasing the next deal. They're on this hamster wheel of like cutting deals and making deals happen, and they need to be like in the grind all the time. And they never are building any long-term wealth unless they're making so much money and then they passively invest it. Like that's one play for that. Then, like, dude, I just focused all on enterprise value. I focused all on equity and deals, but I neglected the cash. And so I was always equity rich, but cash poor in my business.
Talk more about that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I never took acquisition fees, right? I never paid myself. I never did any of those things. And so I need to transact a long, I need to go sell an apartment building or flip an apartment building and it'd take 12 months or 18 months or 24 months.
Yeah.
And I'd get this big windfall of cash. I'd be like, oh, fine, now I can just go and collect properties again. And then I'd run out of money and I'd be like, how do I figure this out? And it really wasn't until I understood, like, people would start hitting me up, be like, dude, will you teach me how to buy apartment buildings? I'll pay you to teach me how to buy apartment buildings. And I hosted my first mastermind upstairs, and it was like $2,500 a ticket. I put 15 people in the room. And so I made 40 grand on it, like that, on a 2-day. And I was like, damn, this is something. I can actually make money and consult with people who would gladly pay for consulting. And that allowed me to start understanding how I could generate fast money. Because I think it's really important, dude, to have that fast money to keep the lights on, to make sure you're not stressed, make sure the bills are paid and you got the marketing dollars and all that stuff. But you also need this long-term enterprise value.
The legacy wealth.
That legacy wealth. But you need both, because otherwise it puts the legacy wealth at risk if you don't have the fast cash too.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't have a way to make 100 grand in the next 60 days, dude, like, you need something like that in your world. And if that's wholesaling, that's totally fine. If it's feeding a bigger purpose, you know what I mean?
100%. And the difference between what you're doing and what I've seen a lot of other gurus do is, like, you own the apartment buildings, you own the doors, and there's a lot of people just selling courses, not really doing the deal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, especially in single family, it's easier to coach and sell tickets for coaching than it is to go and actually do single family real estate. Single family's tough, man. It's like, it's a racket. It's not an easy business, and it's not a scalable business.
Not at all.
Right? It's a very customized per house type thing, as opposed to your 32 units that you got over here. This is the flooring, this is the paint, all the kitchens look the same, all the cabinets look the same, all the countertops look the same. Dude, nothing else matters. Go in here, paint, flooring, fixtures, kitchens and baths, and everything else is, and it's, dude, you don't have to do that for 32 single family houses, which all have different kitchen designs, all different bathroom designs, different areas, different price points, different, like, customization
tax
of
bills,
features,
insurance bills, all that jazz.
Right. You got one water bill over here, you got one heat bill over here, you got one tax bill over here, instead of 32 tax bills, 32 water bills, 32 utility companies that you're making phone calls to in order to turn everything on. Like, it's just that efficiency in the scale that comes with it. Is what really fed my desire to go move into the multifamily and the commercial side. But again, I do think you need the long-term wealth, you need the short-term, and then there's like midterm money. It's kind of like what flippers have, like every 6 months you get a big pop. But we can do that on acquisitions fees. Right? You can take a 3% acquisitions fee on a $2 million deal that you just bought, and dude, that's 60 grand hitting your pocket, and you pop a deal once a quarter, dude. You're making an extra $250,000 on that. Maybe you wholesale a couple of buildings that you're not buying anyways because they're too small for you, or C-class area, or outside where your resources are, or whatever. And you're popping one of those every 4 to 6 months as well, or 2 to 3 months, whatever. 4 to 6 of those a year. And then from there, dude, now you're still making $1 million a year on that short-term and midterm money, but you're also growing your net worth by $1 to $4 million a year by just accumulating properties too, man. And that's the big picture. And I think that's how you take all this transactional stuff and turn it into like a long-term play.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Full disclosure too, I don't want to be that guy that sits here and says, oh, I own a 32 unit, I have partners in it. Obviously, I own like 45% in it. So
yeah. Which is amazing, right? And so if you got a little over $1 million, so your portion of that is $500,000, right? It's still a wow factor. And if you're buying 3 or 4 of those deals a year, dude, it's increasing the net worth by a couple $2 million. And equally important is that's not taxable right now, right? But you're also getting depreciation on those buildings that offset your active and earned income, the acquisitions fees you have, any sort of the wholesale income that you have, and that side of things. So like, dude, now you're not only making $1 million in short and midterm money, but you're making $1 million tax free in short and midterm money because the depreciation offsets that active and earned income.
Yeah, you don't want to know how much I paid in capital gains tax the last 2 years from wholesaling. Man, I get absolutely railed. Granted, I'd rather pay taxes on money that I earn than taxes on zero.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
But it's like, all right, well, how do I protect? I mean, you're still paying taxes. You're paying property taxes, right? You're paying income taxes on a property level basis, and you're providing housing. You're paying contractors. You're paying subs. You're paying the vendors. You're paying utility bills. And then they're all paying taxes. So like, the reason that you get depreciation, the reason that we get write-offs like that, isn't a tax loophole for us. It's because we're making investments in community and into additional jobs and additional wages elsewhere where the trickle down effect happens. That's why the tax code's written, to incentivize people like us to go out and take risk, right? And invest in these projects that nobody else is willing to do unless there's these benefits that come with it. So
it's like an ecosystem.
You deserve it, dude. Yeah, you deserve every bit of it. So you got into the multifamily stuff. We have a video coming out. If it's not already out, it will be out this Wednesday on the walkthrough on how you found a 32-unit building in a solid A-class area of Lakewood, Ohio. You bought it at a discount that you're all in for about 65 cents on the dollar in today's market, dude. And how you funded it, how you found the deal, how you are doing the project management, what a before and after unit looks like, and then what the exit strategy looks like. So now that you got a taste of it, right? Now what's the goal moving forward? Like what is the business model moving forward over the course of the next 24, 36 months?
The business model moving forward is obviously, what's right here is what's right here. So we got to take care of making sure that this 32 unit gets repositioned correctly. Our finances in order, operations is good. And then after that, my guy JT, who's sitting over here, my road dog, he got a 52 unit in contract in Morgantown, West Virginia, home of WVU. But it's the same type of deal as a 32 unit in Lakewood, man. We're going to be all in at 65, 70 cents on the dollar, be able to refinance and get all of our investors' capital back out of it once we go to refinance and we add value to it.
Dude, still BRRRR-ing properties in today's market, which is not easy to do.
Yeah. And what's so good
but it's feasible, right?
Yeah.
So like now that you can see it and it's you met somebody who's actually doing it, now it's like, the 4-minute mile. Nobody ever broke it, and then as soon as it broke, boom, a bunch of people broke it within the next 12 months, right? Like same exact thing here is, you can't BRRRR properties anymore. You're seeing it from somebody who's doing it right now in today's market.
On large multifamily assets.
On large deal, multi-million-dollar deals.
Yeah.
It's powerful, man.
Yeah.
Now it's exciting, dude. It's exciting to watch. What would you advise somebody who's like, I don't know, getting started in the journey or they're wholesaling houses? Like most people that watch this have some business acumen and have at least some level of experience in doing real estate. Some people have several thousand doors. Other people have dozens of doors. Some people have a couple of doors, right? Like for somebody who wants to scale their portfolio and find these off-market deals the way that you're doing it and grow and scale and think bigger like you have, what kind of advice would you give them?
I played it small for way too long in the single family space, going into wholesaling, but also like at the end of the day, if you can find a good deal, everything else takes care of itself. You can get the financing, you can raise the capital for it, and all that stuff, man. So if you can hone in on the ability to market and find a discounted deal and then be able to acquire it through sales, I mean, you're golden. That's the only way that I've been able to create the net worth that I have, buy this 32-unit apartment building, my single families, all the wholesale stuff.
Yep.
But there's also another key to it, which I haven't had to focus on for a while because I was wholesaling, which is the capital raising side. So there's those two parts to it, the deal and the capital raising.
I agree. Those are the two secret sauces to making things happen.
Any business.
You need to be good at marketing. You need to be good at acquisitions and really understand it. It is a skill set that will take you regardless of the asset class, regardless of the industry. Like if you understand marketing and lead generation, right, and prospecting, dude, that is an unbelievable skill set that will take you long way. And then number 2 is raising capital. Another skill set that transcends industry, it transcends asset class. If you can do those 2 things, dude, the sky's the limit, and you can take down as many deals as you want, right? The key there, though, is 1, you got to learn those skill sets, and then 2, don't get ahead of yourself, because operations would be a third one. And once you take the deals down, making sure you got good operations in place, making sure that you've got good property management and asset management in place on an ongoing basis, that helps you maintain the wealth, right? The other 2 will help you acquire it.
Get there.
Right? But in order to sustain it and maintain it, you got to have great operations. And so you need all those things across the board, man. And you're doing a great job with it, dude. And you're not letting the ego get in the way, right? Which is really impressive, because a lot of times, it happened to me, dude. The rents start growing and the appreciation, and then all of a sudden your ego appreciates too, and you're like, dude, I need to take a step back and clean the plate, make sure operations are good, which is why I haven't been in acquisition mode big time over the past couple of years. And now that we've cleaned the plate and everything's fairly stabilized, now we're finishing construction projects. We took back some projects from bad management companies. We took back some projects from bad joint venture partners who didn't carry their weight. And we've had to reposition a lot of those things, stabilize it. But now that we're there, now we're back in acquisition mode. So it's a long and ugly process. If you grow fast, right, you'll come back down pretty quickly. But I think growing slow and steady, it's like going to the gym, dude. It's just, you increase the weight every couple of weeks, dude. And over time, you can lift heavy weight and deal with heavy problems in real estate and in operations. So proud of you, brother.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate everything you're doing.
It means a lot coming from you, man.
Yeah, man. I love what you're doing, and I can't wait to continue watching the journey over the course of the next 2, 3, 4 years, man, to see what you've been able to do in just the past couple of years, and to think of where you're going to be in the next couple of years, dude. It's really exciting. So proud of you, bro.
I appreciate it.
Yo, so Solomon, where can people connect with you?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, Solomon Sparks. I'm the good-looking dude with the headshot. You'll find me. You know me. And then I'm on Instagram too, Solomon Sparks 57. Yeah, man. If you guys need any help with marketing acquisitions, that's obviously what I'm best at. Like I mentioned here.
And you're gonna be wholesaling some multifamily. It's kind of the idea, right?
Exactly. So we're going to take down this 52 unit, hopefully close early September, which I'm super excited for. I'm pumped for that.
Yep.
And then after that, I'm going to go back to the roots, man. I'm going to start wholesaling, pounding the phones, pounding the pavement, and hopefully making some big pops on assignment fees.
Love it. Love it. So if you're looking for deals, let him know where you're looking for deals. He can put the buy box together and help you source off-market deals direct to seller. And I'm sure there's ways, dude, you can take some fees. Maybe you could get equity in a deal instead of a fee and structure it that way, or some sort of hybrid in between, man. Like, there's a lot of cool ways that you can structure things because you've got that skill set in order to help people out there finding deals, off-market deals in great areas, and helping them build their wealth helps you build your wealth, and it's a win-win for everybody.
For sure.
Cool, bro.
Thank you, man.
Hey, I really appreciate you guys being here for the Legacy Podcast. If you would, please subscribe, like, and ask any sort of questions that you have in the comments of this video. I'd be happy to create some other content and answer any sort of questions that you might have. So I appreciate you being here. We're here every Sunday. I'll see you next week on the Legacy Podcast.